Hello card fighters, Chris here with Vanguard Central, and we have some nice trial deck product reviews for you. This is the Royal Paladin trial deck. It's going to be VG trial deck 11, so 11th G trial deck. We'll just go around the bottom. So we got the nice new art for Altmile. Got Xion holding his card there. The bottom will have the deck list, which I feel like is not that useful because you either know what's already in it or you've already opened it. So like having the deck list is kind of like because you don't know what the cards do without looking them up. I don't know. It seems kind of redundant. Anyway, so let's get right into this. Alright, so we have this little Tri-3. It looks almost like a poster card for like a movie or something. I don't remember this being in the other ones, but this is pretty nice. I like this. Put that to the side. We have obviously the deck, and we have the classic little doodads, the quick rules first guide. It still has the Shadow Paladin stuff, so I guess they're just reprinting it every time from the Lured guy. What's his name? Kazuma's deck, the Lured deck, which kind of makes sense, I guess, because he did the trial deck fight, you know, the teaching fight in the anime. So we got the little rules as usual. We got the mat again, just like all the other trial decks. They come with a nice little playmat like that. Really nice design. Still not big enough to hold all the G-Zone. They need to work on that one, I think. All the official mats, they don't have a full G-Zone. It's kind of like hanging off there. And then, of course, on the back, as usual, we have Shion Kiba, and we have some nice little combo plays that you can do, what to do, what your deck does, and some cards you can grab from the upcoming Tri-3 next set right there. Right there. So that's pretty neat. What's interesting is that they have the Japanese art, like the Japanese text on the card, so like that's not very useful. I wonder if they have the same on this. No, so the quick rules are in English, but for whatever reason they didn't bother to put the English images for these cards on the back. So that's a little unfortunate, because you might see a cool card that you want to add to your deck, but you won't know what it is. You're going to have to go online to find that out. And then let's get straight into the deck. Last thing with the deck, of course, we have the Altmile and clan symbol little card here. These are pretty neat. I don't know. There's not much to say about these other than that I think they look really nice. Put that to the side. Alright, so straight into the deck. It's 2 Altmiles. His skill, same as before, it's just a reprint with the new art. So if you like the new art, definitely go ahead and pick that up. I think it looks nice. So his skills as before is GB2 during your turn. All of your units in the front row get plus 5,000. So that's a pretty nice ability. If you can't stride, you get some nice combo attacks off. And then his other ability is Counterblast 1. When you stride, you can call up to 2 units from your hand and give them plus 5. So, well, give any 2 units plus 5. So you can call nothing and give 2 units plus 5. So that's pretty nice. Just adding a little power, help push out some cards from your opponent, make it really aggressive. And I think this is going to be one of the big draws for the trial deck. Selphus, whatever, Divine Knight of Lore. He is pretty sweet. He basically enables Brave. He's a stride that enables Brave. Exact thing is when he attacks, you can Soul Blast 1, and then bind any number of your cards face down, and then you can give one of your guards plus 5. So a nice little power boost for 1 Soul Blast. That's not too shabby, but really I think the nice thing about Selfless is that he enables Brave no matter how many cards you have, and that's like one of the biggest concerns that people have with Brave is like, well, like It sucks because they have to have such super like low amounts of cards in hand, but then Selfless solves that a lot. So I feel like this is one of the big draws to the trial deck. Alright, so then our other grade 3 has got the pretty standard Brave. When this guy attacks Vanguard, counterblast 1, give him plus 5k. The trial deck guys are starting to have this a lot more, rather than like counterblast 1 when the attacks give it plus 3. We have like stronger rear guard cards. This is pretty nice. It's going to be a beater, 11k beater by itself. You could call it, you know, give Selfless plus 5, makes 21 by itself. That's pretty powerful. So it's a nice, good beginner card, as trial decks should have. And then our other backup is going to be Devout False Dragon. He's at 10k. I don't think he's quite as good as our guy Consinias over here, because he gets plus 3,000 every time a grade 2 or greater unit is placed on the rear. So the problem with him is like he's gonna be taking out one of your front row, and you're gonna call another one. He's gonna get plus 3, and then he only gets bigger if you make combo plays from there. But just strictly from the trial deck, that's pretty much never gonna happen. But he could be useful later. I think most people probably won't run him. I would probably run over our Consenius over this guy if we have a counterblast to spare. But he's nice. He can power up a little bit without counterblast. That's pretty good. Grade 2s. We got 3 10k vanillas. The art is so nice. Look at it. He's like a silver wolfy guy. Oh, I don't know. I really like the art on this. More full arts in your deck, guys. Alright, so then we have 2 Flying Swellonite Klaus, and so he is a Brave Bleed that's active before GP, so that's really nice, because you could just rush really hard. And so his Brave skill is when his attack hits Vanguard, you can bounce him back to hand, so this could be really nice. If you want to be really aggressive early, you can call him out onto the rear guard, hit Vanguard, and then he'll go back to hand, so you can, you know, guard with him, and he's not going to be a target. You're going to be punished super hard for rushing, so that's really nice. And then if he's placed on rear guard, you can give him and another unit plus 2. So just some small power boosts. He could go up to, you know, 11, and if you call him with Altmile skill, it's a 16. So you can make some pretty nice numbers with him. But the on-hit pressure is also pretty nice, especially because if you're trying to push your opponent really hard, you have the full deck, and then they're going to want to take a hit for damage. But if they take that, then you get to bounce it back to your hand, and then call a unit to attack in place. So instead of having to call over and kind of... It's really weird because I always consider it like you lose a card, but not really because your board is still full if you call over something. But this way you can get the card out of the way back to your hand and then call something. So that's pretty neat pressure there. And then we have 4 Carusius. He's kind of like the new Twin Sword, but I think a lot of people would agree that he's a little bit worse because he costs 2 Counterblasts, and that's a really hefty price to pay. Sure, Twin Sword needs to be boosted, but I think the Counterblast one is going to be, you know, the extra Counterblast over Twin Sword makes it much more of an issue. Can't talk, sorry. And then plus 3k to the unit that you called. So that's not too bad because you can make your units that you call attack by themselves, so those units don't need to be boosted. So that's pretty decent there. But I don't see this like coming, you know, when you're trying to upgrade the trial deck, you probably just grab 2 of the old trial deck and replace these guys with Twin Swords, because Twin Swords just much more efficient. That's all there is. Classic 2 8k 10k plus 10k shield interceptors. It wouldn't be a trial deck without them. But you guys have heard me talk about these too much. They're nice. It's a really efficient card, but the power usually kills it more often than not. Alright, so then the grade 1s, we have Dio. Kono Dio. No, his name's Dio Tias. So, Kono Dio Tias. Okay, so what he does, he has a really cool skill. He is, when he boosts an attack, when he boosts a Brave unit and that attack hits Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, retire him, boom, put him to the rear, like drop zone, and then you can call a unit with Brave from your deck. So it's basically on hit, I'm going to get another attack. you got to block this attack or else I'm gonna hit you more. And so that's pretty dangerous, like especially if your opponent's at 4 damage. They're probably going to want to take the attack if it just only has 1 damage, so that it can save cards for later. But if they take that, then we'll go up to 5, and this guy will call another unit, so you have to attack him again. So I think this guy is another star in the trial deck. Provides a lot of on-hit pressure for the deck. Alright, and then we got 2 Support Sorcerer of Damascus. This card is nuts. This is a Sonical reprint. Brave at the end of the turn, you can retire it if you're brave, and then you draw a card and countercharge 2. So you're gonna get so many resources back. Like, sure, this is already in the field. You've already committed it. You're gonna build back hand by drawing a card and countercharge 2. So you get to be even more aggressive next turn. So that's really powerful. If you don't have Sonic Goals, you're going to be wanting to pick up 2 trial decks for this as well, especially if you're going for a Brave focus. Like, if you're not going for a Brave focus, you probably don't need it. Alright, and then another, oh man, this trial deck is just full of goodies, is Knight of Tomahawk in the deck. If you're Brave, he counts as a grade +1, counts as a grade 2, so that's really good. You're going to have more targets a lot of times. Royal Paladin, with their specialty being calling grade 2s, then they run out of targets in deck, and they're like, oh, I really want to attack again, but I just don't have another grade 2 in deck. This can really solve that problem, and he gets plus 2,000 when you call him to rearguard if you're GB. So he's going to act as a grade 2, being a 9k attacker anyway. So that's actually really nice. A lot of neat Brave cards in the deck. And then the Perfect Guard is so cute. It's another little doggo. Actually looks a lot like, he's like the baby version of the 10k vanilla, but it's really pretty. I wish it had an effect, so you might actually run it. But for now, he's just going to be a cute little Perfect Guard that you'll probably replace eventually. The starter, another great card for Brave. Just the goodie bag of Brave. You can rest him to give a unit +3 if you're Brave, so this helps if you're trying to be aggressive. Really early game, you can dump a lot of your hand out. And then put power places to pressure your opponent with nice numbers, and then counterblast 1 movement to soul. Your Brave effects this turn are active, just all the time. You're just always Brave. Like, come at me. I'm Brave, even though I got like 7 cards in hand. I'm gonna have my Brave skills active anyway. So that's a really nice effect there. Another good reason to pick up the trial deck if you're building a Brave deck. And then the triggers. There's 4 crits. There's 2 of that draw. There's 2 Eagles, which are just new Margles, so if you really wanted to build Soul, you could play like a 6 crit, 6 draw with 6 Margles. As Margle being put into Soul, giving it +3. It can help with numbers, it can help with Soul. I find that the Brave deck, from what I tested of it, uses a lot of Soul, so you might actually want to run these, but chances are you just run crits because you want to pressure your opponent. And then 4 stands, and lastly the 4 heals. So that is it for the trial deck. This deck is really, there's a lot of goodies in this deck, especially if you're trying to build Brave. There's a lot of good Brave support coming out in Try 3 next. So if you want to build Brave, you definitely need to pick this deck up. The starter is so good. It just, enables Brave. This guy, he's going to let you make more consistent combo plays. Call him out if you need a booster. So good, especially like I was talking about Twin Sword from the previous trial deck. He needs a booster, and great Royal Paladins, they're really good at calling out grade 2, so you could call him. You can get your Brave going, call him as a booster to a Twin Sword, and get going that way. So that's really, really good. If you don't have Sonic Goals already, this card is insane. It just adds so much. You can blow all your counterblasts doing multi-attacks like the very first turn, and then if you have a Damascus girl, then you can just countercharge 2 and you're ready to go for the next turn. So that's super good. And then of course Selfless. So these are like my four key cards of the deck for you guys. The reasons you're probably going to pick it up is the starter. Starter and Selfless both enable Brave, and then Knight of Tomahawk being a really good grade 1 helps with consistency in the deck. Being able to call out boosters is a really good thing. and then Knight of Damascus just for being a really efficient Brave engine. Countercharge 2 and draw a card. Nice. So like I've been saying, if you're looking to build Brave, definitely pick up this deck. There's a lot of good cards. If you're trying to build a different version of Royal Paladins, you probably don't need to pick this up unless you haven't gotten your Altmiles yet. Then you might need to grab these for the reprinted Altmile, or you can, find some old ones, whatever you like there. If you're looking to pick up this deck, definitely check out the Royal Paladin support in the Try 3 Next booster. Lots of Brave cards, which you're really going to be using. These guys are going to be amping up, enabling your Brave, giving you really strong effects for getting Brave. And there's so much more great stuff to come in this set. Thanks for watching. Like as I've said, if you want to build Brave, this is the deck for you. You gotta pick it up. There's so much good enabling support and stuff like that. I hope you guys liked the product review. If you have any questions, any comments about the deck, about the video, ways I can improve it, hit me up in the comments. Hit a thumbs up if you liked the video. And of course, make sure you're subscribed for more content. And if you'd like to support the content, head over to Patreon and become like those Patreons. I really appreciate those guys who help support me. You can just wait till the end slate pops up and click the orange P. Thanks again for watching. Keep on learning, keep on having fun, and I'll see you in another video.